the Remix Morning Show, right here on Black Power Media. And I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and I got a song for you. Hey, and we curtains owe you something or two. That's right, my crew is coming through. Yes, all the gang. We learning from each other while we do our thing. Nah, nah, nah. Let me introduce y'all to my crew. Nah, nah, nah. Let me introduce y'all. Coming through, Dr. Jared Ball. And we talking about burning down. Kim Brown. Come out, Kate Franklin. Happy 2-year anniversary to you and yours. The Remix Morning Show and the crew coming through. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes.
Kamal coming in with the opposite energy for some reason.
It's a lot at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Took my
But this is
bathrobe
my
off.
8 p.m. This is my prime time, so I love it.
Dear Doctor, that was the best introduction I think you have ever done. Big up to the Cosby. Oh, damn, the Cosby kid. But Fat Albert. I can't stand Bill Cosby for ruining that for us, man.
Man.
No respect, but that to me is the greatest strategy of the whole thing. We had to even stop watching the Cosby, the Fat Albert in the house. My kids had grown up on it. Everything. So.
Hey, big up to, what was that? Quincy Jones did that or something? Somebody did that.
Did you? Damn, you know what? I don't know, but I bet he did. That sounds like something Quincy would have popped up and done real quick, or Herbie Hancock or something like that.
Yeah. Brilliance. Yes.
All right.
I think this is the same shirt I wore 2 years ago today.
And it's not a long John shirt.
Standard Kamal button down.
Yeah, that looked like one of them Structure classics. Y'all remember Structure?
Oh, wow. He got a Nolo.
Oh, U.S. Polo Association.
As soon as we get the BPM polo shirt, then we get Kamal rocking our stuff.
That's right. Yo, Jerry got the remix hat on. Look at him. He killing him today. BPM shirt.
I know.
Looking like Frankie Beverly. Looking like Frankie Beverly and Maze.
He
does a little Frankie Beverly. Before I let go down. Uh-oh.
What's this?
Damn.
Oh, he got the bag.
Do you ever use it? You ever use it?
I used it for the first time when we went to that rally recently. It's to be honest, for those of us who are bag enthusiasts, backpack enthusiasts, I like all kinds of bags. It's not,
it's for show. It's for show.
But yet we still want you in the audience to put down your $29.99. Give it to your kid. Give it to your kid.
A little light day thing happening. You showing up at a little conference or something. You need a little bit of paperwork, and just a little bit of paperwork. You're good to go.
I mean, a lot of you got the bougie lives. Have your black kid that goes to that white school show up in their Black Power Media book bag, and blow up that whole damn school.
That's what's up.
Sometimes all you can do is wear it. You know what I mean?
That's all. Exactly. That's all you got to do. You got to say nothing. It's like what?
So we got a dope show today.
Come on, Leah.
He like that dude on the first day of school. Wear all his new gear.
At the same time.
He laid it all out last night. He's like, ooh, I'm going to kill him tomorrow, boy. Watch.
And what's funny is that would be me. And it would only be for the one day. The rest of the year was a busted mess. But that first day.
I know how we do.
As
soon as you get it, though, you got to wear it the next day. Parents are all like, "Oh, we just got it. You got to wash." It's like, "Wash what? I got to wear it. I got to wear it.
That's
next
right.
day, bam, whatever it is."
So I know Jackie couldn't make it this morning, but shout out to Jackie, shout out to Ricky, shout out to Bap. I did get to see them at least for a hot second on my way out as they were showing up to the Baltimore Convention Center last night. I was trying to just catch that little window in between work and picking up the girls. And they were staying there to continue to do the people's business. And I'm sure as I was leaving, they were getting ready, Ron Daniels and them were getting ready for the big town hall. So I can't wait. You know, I know we putting the link in the chat later.
Yeah.
Maybe Ricky might jump up on here and share some thoughts on that.
I got a little email saying something, so we'll see around.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we're gonna put the link in the chat room right about now. And if you want to come through, make sure you looking, decent. And your mic
you can do audio only if you really want.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah.
You gotta drop $20 to get on.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh my God.
Oh, you don't, y'all. We love the remixes and all the love that y'all have shown us over the past 2 years. So as they say in church, come as you are. Come on up here. If you want to do audio only, that is perfectly acceptable. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
The broke ones get to the back of the line.
We don't mind, the church and out. We don't mind a little tithe. And what he say in Coming to America, we don't mind the kind that jingles, but we prefer the kind that folds.
I know, but are we on prosperity gospel here, folks?
No.
Oh my God. We're going to be later on because I got to tell y'all about the press conference I went to that the mayor had. He dragged out the black elite. And then it was exciting because I showed up and I could, the mayor was staring daggers at. I didn't expect it to be what it was. I like a reporter gave me a call because this commission met that's supposed to be doing stuff on Cop City. Basically, they're giving cover to it. So she said she wanted to interview, and I just walked around. I was like, meet at City Hall. I thought they were doing something inside, but they were on the outside. It was full. It was like 40 Negroes. It was the black elite. The only black people who can still afford to live in Atlanta were all there. It was a good show. It was a good show, B. It was a good show. I got into a fight with a former boss.
Yeah, Doctor, was you out there?
No, what you trying to say? I'm black elite?
Almost. It almost went there.
They have you
got surrounded by the police temporarily.
Now let me do this right. Hold on. Kalanji Jama Changa.
There you go.
Thank you. I know. I'm here.
I did also, speaking of your crew, I did also see, shout out to Minister Server last night. He was in town.
Oh, wow.
And he said, speaking of the black elite, he said, I'm from Atlanta. I don't know nothing about the ATL.
You got to say Atlanta.
He said, I don't do the ATL.
I didn't know that.
Shout out to my man, Minister Server, man.
Yeah, saw Server last night. Yeah, what's up, Server? And I can't wait to hear about him. He was about to be on a panel with the good Reverend Yearwood in the Hip Hop Caucus. So nothing like a good nonprofit, Democratic funded party funded liberation reverend.
It's a good
I can't wait.
Hey, before Kamal get on the soapbox, I just want to say, y'all, listen, we've been up here in the morning giving y'all this show for the last 2 years. If y'all want to drop some change in the chat room, in the bucket, please. Today is the day that it's a giving, what is it, Thursday? It's a giving Thursday. Let's make it happen, y'all.
Giving Thursday?
I like it.
Speaking,
I like it.
I do also have a little bit of a contribution. I know. We got stories to tell. I did follow up on my reporting. I got a little bit of a follow up on some reporting on the Spite Wall that I talked about yesterday. So I can contribute a little bit with some more original. You know what I mean? That's how we do it here. The remix. It's original. Grassroots journalism, confronting the Negro elite. Finding the walls of spite. That's what we do here every day.
True.
we also have a 9 o'clock guest.
What?
Whoa.
Only in America.
Ooh.
Surprise, guys.
Yeah.
I was about to say a name that wasn't going to be funny. But anyway.
Andre.
1999.
Andre Dickens.
Taylor.
Is that Andre?
Yeah, right.
Is that the mayor?
That's funny.
Good people, and thanks for the good work. Appreciate you. No doubt. We're going to keep it going for y'all.
Today.
All right.
Yeah, it was speaking, I was just thinking about this between Jackie and Minister Server. It was a high ball of it was a lot of energy, a lot of low center of gravity energy in Baltimore last night. It was a lot of low center of gravity energy last night.
You calling them short? You call the Minister Server short?
That sounds like a short people slap there, Gerard.
No, he said there's a lot of low energy.
Gravity. It was like
gravity.
a lot of energy in that,
you walk around, Jackie gonna deadlift you. Keep talking. Jackie gonna come deadlift you.
I'm not messing with either one of them. Height is overrated. That's what I'm saying.
You might be taller than Minister Server.
Oh my, she's mad tall. Alicia, big up for the
$10. Might be taller than
you.
Minister Server.
Thank you all.
She
for
might
your
be.
Content.
It was.
I think she got Minister Server by a couple of inches.
It's pretty close.
Wow. What?
That would be like.
I'm sorry. As somebody who is 5'2", I take offense to this entire line of conversation right now. I take tremendous offense.
Listen,
I
was 4'9" when I got to high school, so there's always hope. There's always hope.
For what?
You're still short, B. I mean, when you acting like you're 6'2" or something like that. You act like you popped up to 6'2".
My aura is like 7'5". You know what I mean?
If you shave them locks off, you're about a good 5'5", I think, in person. If you shave them locks off, about 5'5".
5'10", stop hating.
Let me tell you something.
Real quick,
can
we give a shout out to Alicia? Alicia, big up for the $10. Thank you for all your amazing content. I have gained so much over the last 2 years learning from y'all. Love my BPM fan. We love you too.
Thank you.
Alicia. Learn a damn thing from this show.
Well, listen, she about to learn something else. Let me tell you something. Dudes between the heights of 5'7" and 5'11" are the ends most likely to lie about how tall they are. Let me say that. The most lionest ends in the world are between the heights of 5'6" and 5'11". Them ends lie.
I love the specificity. The
data I was still half on it.
Listen,
Kim brought
anytime a dude tell you he's about a certain height, yeah, I'm about 5'11". Oh, so you 5'10", niggas. They just say 5'10". It's cool.
I'm 5'10" with my shoes off.
I drop an extra. I make sure I'm like 5'9.5".
My man Anthony D coming through.
Anthony.
And come out shorter than me talking about some how tall I am. What's wrong with you, man?
Y'all are hilarious. Jared, look at what you started. You're the only person over.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't really. I'm not dissing short people. I'm impressed.
It did sound like it.
In all honesty, all jokes aside, when I years ago, shout out to, I don't know whatever happened to this brother. Shout out to Herbert Walker, man. He told me, one of the brothers I looked up to in the Navy, and he told me one day he was a boxer. And he said, always size up another man. Just get used to it. He said, every time I meet a man, I size him up, no matter what the context.
You know what?
I have always done that. I can't stop doing it. So when I see Minister Server or when I see Jackie, I'm not joking. I see a threat. My height is not an advantage. If you know how to fight and you built like that, my height is not an advantage. I'm in trouble. That low center of gravity.
That's only if they get low on you, though. They get low on you. Yeah, they get. But
know what you're doing.
But if you fall on top of them, because you're good.
But my point is, my approach is to assess the threat and assume they are a threat. So I'm saying I assume Minister Server and Jackie, especially Jackie deadlifting half the planet, I assume they know what they're doing. So when I see him, I'm like,
oh yeah, and Server got hand games too. Don't.
That's what I'm saying. So I didn't even get to that part yet.
And Server's height, you should be giving him that book bag you got. I think that's what he needs.
Oh, that's messed up.
I'm just saying, like the school bag,
As soon as I seen Jared, I was like, I'll punch Jared in the stomach and run. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
He can hit somebody and run.
That's right.
I know folks have done that.
Hey, but listen, that cat tried to snuff me one time, but I got the ill Warner Brothers joint, so I clipped him, and he got an ass whooping that he'll never forget.
Oh, he clipped it while he's trying to run.
Hell yeah, we old school with that. I love a cat try to run real quick. I like to sweep anyway. But no, I agree with your man Herbert Walker, Jared. That's just been my whole thing, my whole life. The first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at where the weaknesses are, and every human has a weakness. Yeah. It's just automatic. So for me, it's those metatarsals. I already know you got bad feet, 4 pounds of pressure come across them joints.
Damn,
All the other shit you ain't got to worry about. Go ahead and crush them, and you're gonna come down. It don't matter how tall you are, you're gonna bring it down for them toes. And that's when you meet your maker. A lot of mercy. Anyway, welcome to the Remix Morning Show.
Yeah.
This is not
Can't bring y'all out nowhere. Can't bring y'all out nowhere. You just imagine, like, you bring like Dr. King here's is like I can take Dr. King. Like, where would I punch him?
Right.
I don't speak on it, but
Like,
I
don't let
can't
that
help
collar
it.
fool you.
I would,
I'm like,
though.
I might have to knock
like
him
Dr.
out.
King. Be like, Dr. King, since you like to dream so much, I put you
You
What is happening?
Welcome to the Remix Morning
We've
Show.
gone
Going on right now?
What was the show? Baby Boy, where Ving Rhames took dude, licked him in the back of his head. I wouldn't know Dr. King. I'm just saying. Good morning, y'all. It's 420. I don't smoke no more.
The riot starters in the building.
Probably can't tell.
Hey, yo,
here today.
real quick, let's take our first break. And all those people, like you say, we dropped a link in the chat room if you want to come in and say happy anniversary or come in and say whatever you want to say, just nothing crazy, because we will cut you out of here. Do that. We're going to take our quick break.
Letting people in today or what?
Yeah, we letting them
He
in.
already put the link in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lord have
Johnny
mercy.
come lately.
No telling who might come up on this piece right here.
You already know it. All right. Right now, let's take our first break right here on the Remix Morning Show. Wait a minute. Show. There we go. Show. Yeah. Welcome out to the 2-year anniversary show right here on the Remix Morning Show. Black Power Media, in case you didn't know, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, all those buttons down there, because Sharon's Karen is Sharon. And with that said, go to patreon.com and drop some change on the bucket, because you know we love it. And we can also hit us up with the super stickers right there in the chat. We love it all. Listen, we're trying to grow and build and be here for another 2 more years. With that said, even more. With that said, I want to go ahead and get to a quick music. We're gonna highlight somebody real quick. Let's do a one-hit wonder. Can we do that? Who am I talking about right here? Guy straight out of the D, Detroit. No other than Keith Washington, looking like Orange Juice Jones' good brother. Anyway, let's talk about this man right here. Keith Washington, coming straight out of the D. Like he says, a R&B vocalist. He had this song "Kissing You" back in 1991. This was like the only song anybody ever knows, but it was also the background music for the General Hospital. You might have heard it on that. But he was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance in 1992 and got a Soul Train Music Award for the Best Soul Single by a Male. So he's been around for a minute. He really has 3 albums. Like I said, there's not too much to it when it comes to this guy. He did those albums, did that one song, and he was out of here. So it's not much to talk about for Keith Washington, but I just wanted to bring up a classic song right here and enjoy it. With that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do right here on Black Power Media. Let's go. And let's take you back before we do that.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Good morning.
What's happening?
What's up, world?
What's
welcome to the baddest. Just want to welcome everybody real quick to the baddest morning show on the planet, only to get better. Your organic, free-range soul food for your media diet and your boom bap breakfast. Welcome to the remix. I'm Jared Ball. What's up, good people?
What's happening?
What's up?
Man, who we got in the building today?
Marty said I'm here.
Okay, Marcy Lee's in the building.
Yeah. Jackie and Baba Lukman are here. What's up, people?
Yep.
Jackie and Baba.
Yeah.
That's your first clip?
Yeah.
Quick flashback. That was the first show. That was the first show? That was the first Remix Morning Show right there.
I wasn't on the first show.
You came late as usual. I mean, nothing's changed.
Not.
I was on the first show. No, not on time.
Yeah, big up to Baba Lukman.
Yeah.
Love to see
R.I.P.
pictures of absence.
Yeah.
But can I
Random thought.
Doctor,
1999.
Doctor Keith Washington did have another song. He had
Out
a
of your mind.
very
Exactly. Yeah.
impressive duet with Shantae Moore called Candlelight in You. It was on the Boomerang soundtrack, and it was a banger. How dare you disrespect this man?
His whole album. I can't believe he called
His
Keith
whole
Washington
album.
a one-hit
Really?
wonder.
One-hit wonder.
You're
Man got
bugging. Y'all
3
better go check
albums.
this man out.
Ooh.
Yeah, doctor.
Exactly.
Yeah, doctor.
I was right, wasn't I, Kamal?
Yeah.
Look at
No.
Jared. He know too.
When you go to Kamal for musical advice.
There's only one.
You're
There's
right
only
about
one.
that.
Hey, Jared's muted. That's how appalled he is.
Because I'm in agreement with Kamal and Ear Doctor, so
Yeah.
I'm
Mute Jared.
terrified.
Somebody mute
Big up
I
JL.
lost their mind.
$10. Thanks for another great year remixes. It's also my anniversary today. Let's have a great one. Happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
And you're welcome for getting married on our
Yeah.
our
We shared the date with you.
you're
We shared the date
welcome.
with you. Yeah.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Word. That's what it is. That's your quick artist spotlight for the day. I'll be back on the next break.
Man, listen.
Peace. So are we going to slap the map, good gentlemen?
Let's slap it.
Yes, y'all. Happy 420 remixers. It's the Remix Morning Show here on Black Power Media. Happens to be our 2-year anniversary, and we are so excited to be celebrating it with you all today. Come on in, give the video a like and a thumbs up. We already know y'all subscribe. We know y'all members. We know y'all patrons. And look at y'all running us some super chats to support us on this wonderful anniversary day. Let me introduce the crew. Top right corner, we got Frankie Beverly, and the rest of us are Maze.
Before I let
Yes, doon, doon, doon. Hands in the air, y'all. Whoa,
Okay, I gotta pull those pictures up. We gotta get the new Frankie Beverly.
Sorry.
Not another round
Tight-ass
of
hat, though,
Photoshop
Jared.
wars.
Oh, Jared's in the top
Yo, with the
left.
ticket
My
back.
bad. I can't.
So, real quick, good morning again, everybody. I love the Frankie Beverly joke and transition. That is hilarious. Kamal, I know you got something. You know,
I want me to start. I can start.
Yeah, I did see in the chat somebody asked about it. I did read the Uhuru indictment, so I'm happy for us to get to that.
That's right. That's right.
But I think you got to. I think we can't bury the lead, as they say.
Breaking news. Kamal, did you make news yesterday? I'm just curious.
So yesterday, it's always a big day in terms of the Cop City stuff, just because of everything that was taking place. Starting off with the commission, the fake commission that the mayor's put together that has 40 people from Atlanta met for the first time yesterday. Some of these folks came thinking that they would be able to talk about Cop City proper, like where it's like if it should be built, do they get a vote in it? Do they get a vote in the training? They were disabused of that idea right away. The mayor brought in a slick consultant team that kind of ran the meeting. And then gave them like areas in which they could talk about the area that was that Cop City is going to be placed on, including the idea of sustainability. Basically, how tall can the grass be cut? So they have no power whatsoever. People were there. Some people are threatening to leave already. But basically, this was what I love is the fact that the mayor now has to go through all of these hoops to make a presentation to people about the viability and acceptance of Cop City, including the fact that he had to do a press conference right afterwards. And at that press conference, he brought out, like I said before, the Black elite. They rolled out Andy Young. They rolled out the people, all these folks, he started naming some of them. They own car dealerships. They're the manager of such and such and such. He made sure the whole crowd was black. But you know who wasn't there? None of the people, the corporations, the white corporations that put in all the money for Cop City, they weren't in the picture. The Atlanta Police Foundation people, they weren't in the picture. He got every silver-haired black elite person he could find to come out, including this one, who I don't know about, John Hope Bryant, but he has got to be one of the most clownish Negroes I've ever seen.
Oh,
so you know him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I mean, I can table it for now, but absolutely, we've talked about him a couple of times on my show, in particular his relationship with Roland Martin as a financial advisor, and he is one of those black capitalist investors who fronts for white corporations and banks.
Kamau, you would know him because I think he's the one who paid for Morehouse students like tuition. Like he's the one who forgave like an entire class.
No, that's not him. He's not
Robert Smith.
Oh,
Smith.
sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet.
But same
vein. Brown and yellow today. You want to see some more?
So let me this clip of his. This wasn't from the press conference. I just found this.
35 million black people never got a class in capitalism. Let that sit in for a moment. Neither did my white friends in rural white America. Neither did most middle class people today of any race. So whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow today, you want to see some more green.
And that's basically what they said yesterday. This dude got up and said, this is all about the money.
Sound like a dark-skinned Obama.
And then he said, then he started going off on his own family and talking about crime in his family and how it has to be stomped out. So that was the caliber of the conversation that was happening yesterday. It was so interesting because, you know, I showed up thinking that this was going to be on the inside or some press conference. I didn't understand what was happening. And so when the media person who called me, I was like, oh, I can come to City Hall. That's cool to do a comment. And so I roll up and, you know, I see all these cops and all these cameras and all this huge line again of the black elite. And I was like, what the hell is happening? And so I stand out, of course, like a sore thumb because I got on my community movement builder shirt. I'm catching the mayor's eye. We're giving each other stare downs, but he's proceeding with his press conference. And then right afterwards, my favorite man, Vincent Fort, who I used to work for, who's now turned turncoat, who used to be
Come on, not Vincent. Come on.
Vincent, the black progressive in the city, who now works for the mayor, walks up to me and says, heard you telling lies on me. And it's like, get the fuck out. I literally say, get the fuck out of my face. I was like, you better step the fuck away from me. Whereas the cops come and don't form a line around his fat ass, but they jump in front of me. I was like, I was like, I just stepped to this dude. This dude came to me.
Ooh.
Like, this dude came to me. You better get out of my face kind of thing. You know, nothing happened. And so that was part one. They continued on with their press conference. Again, every black elite that you can think of, every, former mayors were there. So they're putting on this real huge show to push through the idea of Cop City. And so did a couple of interviews. And then afterwards, let me just get this part all in. Later that night, the official autopsy report was released for Tortuguita. And so as people have been saying since the beginning, that the cop story is a fabrication and a lie. Here it clearly states that Tortuguita, who was shot, they have an actual copy of the autopsy report linked to this report. It says Tehran did not have gunpowder residue on their hands. Officials claim Tehran fired the first shot. The state trooper officers responded with gunfire. The report stated that Tehran had at least 57 gunshot wounds in their body, including hands, torsos, legs, and head. So the narrative that they've been crafting is beginning to fall apart completely. To have this autopsy released on the day of this commission, the families now put out a press statement, whether or not I think they might do a press conference later on, but 57 times. And as stated before, he was sitting cross-legged in a tent, shot both here, hands like this, and hands like this. They've completely waited. Now, what are we now? 5 months after his killing to release this autopsy, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation continues to drip out information, hoping that by the time they give all this information out, that they've already started doing what they have started doing, which is clear cutting and beginning to make their plans to build Cop City. But the autopsy is clearly showing no residue whatsoever. Again, the official story has changed multiple times, but now they've admitted that they shot pepper bullets or whatever, or pepper balls into his closed tent initially, and then they started firing repeatedly and killed this young person. And so all that information came out yesterday. The things continue to roll on in terms of what's going to happen here. Some of us are calling for an actual city referendum as sort of like a big last shot to try to stop this, because the police have surrounded the area. They put the gates up. They're getting construction crews in there. They're now asking for more money from the city than they originally said they needed in terms of the Atlanta Police Foundation. They've gone up from 30 million now to 34 million. And so the beat keeps on with this story, but the fact that they have to bring out over 50 elite black leaders, so-called elite black leaders, as they kept saying, not only black people who can now afford to live in Atlanta, says a lot about where they're at and what they're trying to get out of this thing at this stage.
First of all,
my bad. Go ahead.
I do know former Senator Vincent Fort, and Vincent Fort, for those of you in the journalist world, he is the uncle of journalist Georgia Fort. So I want to say that. But I've seen Vincent Fort literally get chased, where I had to ask a brother not to put his hands on him, and he ended up trying to call the police on the brother. The police were actually already out there, but he was running his ass like the Klan was after him or something. But the thing I wanted to ask was, 57 shots. Who are these officers? Because I think that what's important is that they need to be identified. Because see, the thing is, I love the fact that we have the blanket Cop City piece, but the folks who are the actual murderers have to be pointed out, because this is it's unacceptable is not even a word. You talking about 57 shots into, and then as usual, like they do in Atlanta and like they do across the country, they murder us and then they lie about how it went down. That's the same shit they pulled with 92-year-old Katherine Johnson when they ripped her burglar bars off, went into her joint unannounced and opened fire on her, then handcuffed her as she bled to death and planted weed in her basement. This is the same police force. Now, I know the state police were involved in this as well, but if they will kill someone like that young person, imagine what they'll do to us. Imagine what they would try to do to us, because of the fact that you're more of a threat, because you have an analysis, you have your politics in order, you have the ability to lead. So if you're talking about a young person who's just sitting in a tent and you open fire on him, these pigs are dangerous. We need to find out, where are they? Who are they? Are they still on active duty? Because this is insane, man. I mean, the fact that they're just releasing this is a testament of how they really feel about the lives of people who are against this state apparatus.
Yeah, I only wanted to add, I see a couple people in the chat calling this a firing squad, and I get that, but respectfully, I don't agree. Theoretically, at least as I understand it, when I hear firing squad, there's the pretense of a trial and a conviction. There is maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and then they do the protective, the humane protective measure of not loading all the guns of the people firing to protect the nominal humanity of those doing the killing. So there's plausible deniability, and they can go to bed at night. This was, we all want in. We all happily give up our humanity to destroy this person's life, and we all want credit for it. We know there was no trial, we know there was no conviction, we know there's no criminal act that we can even put on this person legitimately, and we want them out of here, and to demonstrate it with overkill. This is more like a
big game hunt.
Or I was even thinking this is aerial bombardment compared to a firing squad.
It was some straight coward shit. Right
overkill. There. This is disgusting. I mean, so I just like firing squad is
Yeah, it was so.
And I see I see what you're saying, but try to hear what I'm saying. Try to take my point in, if you would, just for a moment. But otherwise, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Other than that,
no. I mean, it was straight cowardice, man. And it's like I don't know if I'm more disgusted at the level of the cowardice level that they come with, or just the fact that what they represent. It's just, I guess it's a combination. But for me, it's like, I mean, it's some real part of my English cubby is sucker shit for you to open fire on an unarmed human being, and the pepper spray, that was the straight setup. You're shooting in pepper balls because you know that he's gonna come out to breathe. That tears and you're trying to get some fresh air, and you open fire. These are the worst type of cowards. I mean, I couldn't even imagine having respect for these motherfuckers, man.
Now check this out, because I know we're about to bring Ricky up, and I want to preface that by asking, given that I didn't stay, though I've been to a number of these events over the years, with all due respect, if there's a difference between what Ricky heard in Kamal's description of the event he was at and what she saw last night, other than some beautiful dashikis and some beautiful music and drumming and the accoutrement of Africanity, but other than that, Ricky, Ryan.
Oh, with the remix shirt on.
Oh, that's a fly shirt. Okay.
Recognize.
Bro,
I designed that logo, by the way. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good job.
Peace, Africans. I didn't know if Tim wanted to remark on the Cop City thing, and then I could talk about. I didn't know if y'all were done with that, and then I could talk about that.
Go for it.
Well,
no, go ahead. Kim, too. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to ask about the way that the news of the autopsy report for Tortuguilla is being covered in Atlanta, because I mean, we know how the assassination at the time was covered. It was 100% going with the police narrative and operating off the premise of the propaganda. And we know the Atlanta media are stenographers for the Atlanta police and the related law enforcement agencies. So has the news of the actual, cause of death for Tortuguilla, with all the bullet wounds that he sustained, in addition to the gunshot residue or lack thereof on his hands, how is that news being covered in Atlanta?
I mean, it's breaking news here in Atlanta. But the stories that I've seen so far don't give me a lot of hope for sort of exposing this in the proper way. The stories that I've seen so far, they're taking pains to say, like, even though there's no gun residue, it doesn't mean that, as the police have said, he did not shoot first. They're taking pains to show videos of protesters having battles with cops as they're reporting on the autopsy. Wow. They're taking pains to say that that the cop, a cop, was also shot at the scene, and so we don't know what took place there. So they're not saying things like, this leaves open a lot of questions on the official report on the autopsy. The fact that the person was shot has 57 gunshot wounds. Some of those are both entrance and exit wounds. They don't say anything about casting doubt on the official story as a lead. The fact that there's no handgun residue in a small tent, like, where would it go if it was there? Right. They're not pointing that out as the lead. That stuff is like sort of like in the background or said in passive language, but they're trying to make sure that they still prop up the official version of events as the event, as the way in which we should look at this. And even though other information has come out, it's just more for the sort of the idea of saying, oh my, like, 57 times bullet wounds. That may be a big part of the story because it's hard to hide, but nothing that goes into, we should be rethinking about how this story was originally told, right? So the propaganda value for them still is that at the same time they run this story about the autopsy, they continue to quote the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, show videos of protesters battling cops, and try to still make it sound, even at the press conference, the mayor stated, this is not about the autopsy, but the mayor stated that the people on the commission that they created, the 40 people, that the reason they're having closed door meetings and not having the meetings open to the public or releasing notes about the meetings or minutes of the meetings is because people have expressed that they are scared to have the meetings public, which makes no sense on its face because the mayor's office has already released every name who's on the commission. And so the fact that he says that, and then it gets reported in the news that that's the reason why they are not having open meetings, flies in the face of reality, which shows like, report, if it ever was a lie, reporting is dead, right? So it's basically you're repeating like a parrot what the mayor says without any sort of logical take on, but haven't you already released the names? So everybody knows who's on the commission. How can I talk about them if I don't know who's on there? I already know who's on the commission. I don't need, like the minutes only say what they're talking about. A $30 million project funded by the city, which is going to cost well over hundreds of millions of dollars to actually build. But it's not being somehow these meetings reach the level of privacy of closed door meetings, particularly when they can't discuss anything of significance. And that's the real reason why they are closed, because they know that basically these meetings are going to be about, where does the tree go? How often does the grass get cut? That's all they're going to be talking about. What should be the new name of the training center? Should we put back civil rights in the name? That sounds really good when you do that.
Real quick question, Kamal, from your experience out there, and from these various lies, I'm not even going to say reports because they're not really reports. They're just blatant lies. The narrative around the cop getting shot out there. Okay. There's no gunshot residue on the victim's hands, but they're still claiming that this cop was shot. In your assessment, do you think it was friendly fire, or, is there any proof that he actually was shot?
No, I think there's proof that the cop was shot, but we don't know, right? Because they've been dripping information. It could very well be that they took his gun and shot the cop. It could very well be friendly fire. It could very well be that the person defended themselves after being shot at and got off a bullet. We just don't know, because only thing we do know is the story that they've crafted, that the media has led with, without any questioning of that official narrative since the very beginning. And so their version of events is that.
Right, but if they found no residue,
yeah.
Either they have to claim that he had gloves on, or it's not like I don't.
And no one asks logical questions. Yeah, and so and the media won't ask.
Which is wild. Which is wild.
You can't tell me
3 months or 6 months when they release the forensics from the actual bullet, and it shows itself to be potentially a gun from the Atlanta Police Department or the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, or the troopers or SWAT team. It'll be something else. By the time they release that information, they'll probably be 2/3 of the way built. Cops will be 2/3 of the way built.
Yes, and they'll name one of the facilities after the victim. But yeah.
So I'm sorry, Ricky wanted
so
to jump
quiet.
In. Yeah. Well, Ricky wanted to jump in.
It's dead air here.
Oh, I thought we were waiting for Ricky to say something too. My bad. I was taking it all in. Now, my bad.
I need to read the chat room.
So, okay, let me take it back then. So as I was trying to previously sort of jokingly segue that as I heard Kamal describing that press conference or that gathering, I couldn't help but feel a little bit of similarity as I walked through the convention center last night. Now, admittedly, I think people look beautiful. The clothing was fly. There's a lot of African flyness out there. But I was like, I felt honestly felt a little sad. I don't know how I had a whole little weird reaction last night. And anyway, so but you all ended up staying. So, what am I right? Was the vibe similar? What did you end up seeing?
It was strange. That was the first time I went to something like that. So I was telling Jackie it was like a petty bourgeois cultural nationalist mess. Like it was a lot. So I was for the first, I guess, when I walked in with the drum set thing, and just the reaction to that, it was just a lot to take in. So yes, I do agree. Maybe it was sad, but it was really a lot. Like it was so wild. They did a Maurice Bishop tribute, but then they danced around any talk of Marxism. He was a progressive Pan-African. Nobody actually talked about Pan-Africanism or in any way, but they talked about being Pan-African a lot. They shouted out a lady who was the head of the OAS. They shouted out a man who I forget his name. He was a cop, and they said, "Oh, he's one of our best Black cops," and he was in the building. So it's one of those things.
By the way, we're talking about the Institute of the Black World Convention, just so everybody's clear. Just to make sure we're clear, that was taking place at the Baltimore Convention Center last night. So
yes,
I mean, this sounds like an Afrocentric Congressional Black Caucus convention. From what it's just how you guys are describing.
I think that's a very good.
More intense, though, I think, because they're intentionally trying to come off in one particular way. Like Ron told all his battle stories in between as we waited for like tech issues to get resolved. So you got to rehear all the people that he knows and knew and all the places that he went, just to give it sort of that legitimacy of like he should be the one saying these things. But then they got to the reparations panel. And for me, one thing, reparations wasn't even defined or described before they jumped into the panel. And they had all of these different people who are working on all of these different aspects of reparations, from like people from CARICOM to the lady in California, and then what's happening in Illinois. That woman was there. So they had a bunch of representatives from like in Cobra and such that work really hard on reparations, but everybody was talking about something different. No one was really specific about what they're doing. There was a lot of names dropped, like the Rockefeller Foundation and the Ford Foundation as people who fund these initiatives. And it was just said without any sort of like, I don't think anybody would give that a second thought.
So also, they say brought to you by.
Yes, I can't. I make too many. Like I do that a lot, and I don't think that's what the press is supposed to. Like we're supposed to be more objective, I suppose. But it was a lot of that kind of mixy vibe.
So was Nancy Pelosi there, or was Nancy Pelosi there with her?
No.
Kente Clark.
She was called in, or they were trying to get her to call in. They had invited all of these different people from the President of Ghana, Vice President of Colombia. Nobody showed up. But they made sure to note that they were invited and that there were like maybe state issues with getting them there. But they said that the President of Ghana is well on his way to lead Pan-Africanism or the Pan-African Connection, because they went to Ghana for that most recent conference and they got them to talk about reparations. So reparations is moving on a global scale. But again, I don't know what reparations is or what they're even trying to get. And if they're talking about a collective network of reparations and task force, there's no like conduciveness or collectivity or points of unity in what they're all trying to do. Like the one man talked about having gotten the money from the Rockefeller Center to go to Rome to charge the Vatican with needing to needing to give up reparations. And my thing is, so the Rockefeller Center said they shelled out the money and said, go over there and tell them.
The Romans.
Don't ask us.
To throw pebbles at the Vatican.
Right.
Take some pictures while you're out there.
Right, because the way he talked about it was initially that, well, which is true, the church in itself paid out for all of that. You know, they paid the Dutch and they paid the English to go into the continent. So that is true. But the idea that the Rockefeller Center was like partially funding that, and they themselves are also sort of, so I think in doing so, that sort of negates, or maybe it doesn't put so much pressure on the US and England and the Netherlands and all these other European nations, because you can just hone in on Rome. And then another man was talking about collectively all the Western nations having 101 trillion to give up, so that if we divide that, you know, this country can give 3.2 trillion and this, but again, there was no conversation about to what end. Like, nobody mentioned land. But I will say, Fanon's daughter was there, and thank God for her, because she is the only one that mentioned IMF and colonialism and imperialism, and talked about those things, and capitalism, and talked about Haiti. And I found it, you know, that was one of the questions that we were going to ask. I will say that when we left, it was 10:30 when we left, and there was still at least 6 more people to go. So we never got to a Q&A portion, because that's ridiculous.
They wore you down.
We got there like 6:37ish.
Damn.
We were there till 10:30. It's like, all right, let's wrap this up. Because we never really got to a Q&A session. So we never got to raise the questions. But luckily she was there, because a lot of the things that I was going to raise, like, you know, how can CARICOM, you know, in September, they signed and wrote a statement that Haiti needs occupation, more or less. Haiti needs to be regulated. And they signed it as CARICOM. But then they're talking about reparations, but no regard to sovereignty, no regard to so my actual issue with reparations is I think that it traps us in a moment of time. So we never move past history to even engage the contemporary. Like, there was no conversations about what's happening in Africa today, but more so what happened to Africa is why we need reparations, but not what's happening with AFRICOM or anything. And they treat Haiti the same way. Like, people talk about Haiti being the first Black republic and what France did to Haiti, but they never really talk about the US and Haiti today, or the UN in Haiti, or the core group, or the OAS that Ron just shouted out. So it was a lot of that sort of mixy vibe. So I will say, I don't know if it was the same kind of situation that you were in, Kamal, seeing the Black elite, but it is the Black elite moving in these particular ways as Pan-Africans.
Yeah.
That's really troubling for me.
And he wants the Black elite there. Ron wants the Black elite there. It's almost like when you describe it, it's like a Comic-Con convention. Like, you know what I mean? Like, folks come, they get to dress up, they get to talk about the superheroes and which superhero is stronger than this superhero. And at the end of the day, they leave and nothing gets accomplished. So that's, you know, they have this reparations conversations these days. It's all about who has the best facts around who oppressed us the most, and so who owes us the most money. But obviously, there's no strategy, tactics, guile, or interest in actually getting the money or doing anything that moves a reparation analysis forward, because that would take actual organizing on the ground and moving Black people in a certain direction. And that's a lot less fun than getting to dress up in your favorite African outfit and coming and hobnobbing with your peoples and having some meals and talking about things in a historical nature. So it's almost, you know, it's just like a way, it's a social gathering for people who have similar interests to come around, and then everybody can leave and feel good about themselves because they've gotten to express certain views until the next one is planned, or until the next one is planned, or until the next one is planned. And that, you know, I stopped going to a lot of conventions and conferences because I didn't want to single this particular one out, but a lot of it starts to feel like that. It's just like, we're not trying to seek real solutions at this particular stage, are we? We're just, it's kind of like, let's look nice, have some drummers, feel good about ourselves, and then let's keep
smell
it
good too.
And it's beautiful black. I mean, you go to these things. It's beautiful people. Oh, don't get me wrong. It's lovely to see gorgeous black people all around, dressed and looking nice, and it gives you a sense of culture, air. But after a while, then you're like, oh, okay, so this is what we're here for.
And Comic-Con was perfect because
Jared walked in and then looked around and then walked back out, and I never see Jared again.
Proud of you, Jared.
I did.
You do the right thing.
I did have. Be fair, I did have to leave, but that is basically how I felt. I was like, I took my lap, I saw what it was. I was like,
I'm not mad. But speaking of Fanon's daughter, she's agreed to come on for this Mumia special that we're doing on Monday. So make sure you all tap into Guerrilla Intellectual University on this Monday coming. It will be Mumia's 69-year born date. We have confirmed so many people right now. We might have to extend the show, but we have literally folks calling in from 5 different countries to help commemorate Mumia's born date, and we will work on getting Mumia on as well as a possible surprise. So, I just want to put that out there. So definitely shout out to
which he just ruined.
Right.
But
did I do that? Well, I don't think Mumia's watching the show right now. But anyway.
I thought.
The surprise ain't for Mumia. The surprise would be for us.
Well, it's his birthday. I mean,
I'll be in Philly.
Okay, cool. Right?
Somebody gonna be surprised.
Yeah, somebody. Hey, act like y'all didn't hear me. But anyway, you're checking out the Remix Morning Show. Definitely. Thank you, Ricky, because in my mind, Kamal said Comic-Con. In my mind, I was seeing this Paul Mooney, Dave Chappelle skit. I'm like, this did not happen. It's not possible to be 2023. I'm so glad that some of these folks are getting up in age. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't deal with this shit too much longer. This is totally out of pocket. I'm sorry. I just gotta keep it funky, man. Look, man, we not gonna win like this. I'm sorry.
Pushing him off the stage.
Hey, look,
of
man.
Life.
Look, take your senile politics on out of here. We tired of that. But anyway, we have a guest coming up at the 9 o'clock hour to talk about a political prisoner that will be released soon. Hopefully, checking out the Remix Morning Show. 2 years, we here.
Are we bringing up the ear doctor on that note?
I was wondering. I mean, I know you ain't been here a while, Kalanji, but we got certain transitions to be doing.
You're the background, like say this, say that, say this.
That's production. That's production. Yeah, I'm pretty good at transitions. That's what I do for a living.
I'm pretty good at transition.
Now check this out real quick. Like he said, we got a guest coming up at the 9 o'clock hour, but I did want to give a shout out to all the people that send love our way. We got Khalil sent in the 1999. Big up. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Nawadi. That's right. Did I say that wrong?
Peace, Nawadi, aka Obi. Thank you.
$20. Congratulations on an anniversary. And Big Bank Alex sending in $199.99.
Hey.
Right.
Hey.
Great, with the exception of saying, especially Dr. Ball. I think that's probably Jared sent it in under his code name. Alex kind of look like. Let me see if we can.
They gave shout out to Ricky, Ryan, and Coco. Look at that.
Okay.
And Ricky, the camera's better, Ricky. The camera's better. The volume, not so much, but the camera, you got a new camera, didn't you?
No, I'm in a different room.
Oh, my bad.
Last week I was bullied onto the show, so now I have eyebrows on today, a little more presentable. Yeah, so.
Hey, they called me the Gooch. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and take a quick break right here on the Remix Morning Show. All right, let's take it right here.
We believe that the so-called Negroes are most in need of mental resurrection. Therefore, they will be resurrected first. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. When you stop breathing, it's gone.
That's right. This is how we starting it off right here, the Remix Morning Show. Welcome out with that boom bap breakfast. This right here is our 1-year anniversary for the Remix Morning Show, in case you didn't know. Let me introduce you. First, I go by the name of the ear doctor. And today we have Dr. Jared Jackie Lukman, Burn It Down, Kim Brad, and Kamal K. Franklin. Yeah. And that's what it is. That was our 1 year anniversary. So thank y'all for continuing to show love and send people this way. Send people this way. If you can't contribute with the money, just tell somebody, tell a friend to come again, and we'll be right here for y'all to give you all that information, that hip hop, that radical news, and all that stuff right here on Black Power Media. With that said, we got guests coming up, so let's go ahead and get right to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Let me get out of here.
You know, I'm talking and the mic is on mute, but it's all good. What's happening? How y'all feeling this morning?
We're good.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having us on.
Without a doubt. So we have here with us today Jared Ware from Millennials Are Killing Capitalism, and we also have Rock, and they're here to represent Sundiata Juwanza. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep.
No doubt. So for our viewing audience and folks who aren't familiar with Sundiata, give us some background and kind of put us up to date, put us up to speed as to where we are with this case and what we can do to assist from where we stand here at the Remix Morning Show.
Yeah, so I'll start. I think first, there's a reason that people are not aware of this case and this individual in a lot of cases, and that is that this is the first time that basically he's acknowledging at least that the state understands him to be a part of the organization known as Jailhouse Lawyers Speak. And so that's an organization where usually membership is anonymous to allow them to function a little bit more, there's no such thing as functioning freely within prison, right? But like to kind of reduce the amount of retaliation and things like that you could be subjected to for basically organizing and advocating for your fellow prisoners. And, he's been involved in that for a long time in organizing and raising human rights issues. And he has received retaliation for that over the years. He's been, placed in solitary confinement and restricted housing units and things like that. And so at this point, it just, I think, makes the most sense from, his perspective, right? I've been before the parole board strictly on all of the following every letter of the sort of expectations, meeting every criteria and doing every program inside to show that I have been rehabilitated according to, their standards. And I'm still being sort of repressed and not being, allowed my freedom through the parole in that way. And so basically, I think it's important that, and I think he feels it's important that people know who he is so that they can, stand in solidarity for him, because the reality is that he stood in solidarity for every prisoner in this country and for people outside of the walls as well. And they may not know that because he's largely been anonymous. So that's kind of where I would start. Rock, I don't know if you have other pieces you want to add there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to, like you mentioned, there's so many people that probably don't know, the majority of the work that he's had his hands in to help other people, help prisoners, not only kind of flood the prisons with education, literature, legal books, courses, just to give them somewhat of a fighting chance for themselves. So I think it's definitely important to note that, it is an important case. Like so many other stories that go untold, we're just here to kind of help bring awareness to someone that's just been like selflessly giving for the majority of the 28 years now that he's been incarcerated. And he gets a chance for parole coming up. And, like Jared said, he's been anonymous in his work. And so we're kind of here hoping to help raise his voice and really get some support for him this time around.
So for folks who aren't familiar, and definitely we appreciate you all coming on to discuss his case, because there are so many folks who are quote unquote anonymous, and some who don't even choose anonymity. They're just as you mentioned, Jared, just hidden, because it brings on a whole nother meaning to the term political prisoner, because most people, when they think of political prisoners, they think of folks who just came in based on their work from the outside, and they don't a lot of folks aren't familiar with the George Jacksons and the Malcolms who were politicized after entering these camps. 28 years. Let's talk about a little bit more about the work, right? How, to your understanding, how did what flipped him, what changed him, what got him into being on the right side of the barricades?
That's a great question. I don't know everything about the origin story there. I mean, obviously he was, as Rock alluded to, he's been in 28 years. He was 20 years old when he went in. He's fully, like, you on his website, sundiatajawanza.com. He acknowledges, right, that he was involved in something that caused the loss of somebody's life, right, and takes responsibility and accountability for that. So I think that's important to add. I know that he has been politicized for many years, and I think that in part, he coming in 1995, right? Like, it's right at the height of all of the kind of repression, the three strikes types laws, the mandatory minimum sentencing, life without parole, things like that, right? And so he's part of a generation of folks that were really locked up in that period for long term, and he has an indeterminate sentence. I mean, he's got a life sentence. He's eligible for parole every couple of years at this point, because of how much time he has served. But there's no guarantee, right? That's why we have to struggle to get him out. I would say additionally, like, that part of the origin story around Jailhouse Lawyers Speak as an organization is that it started in law library in prison, right? And so it started with studying the law as a group, and with a recognition of, look, we need national organization around these issues. And if you look back at, like, the 10 demands that Jailhouse Lawyers Speak helped, like, promote in 2018, they're national demands, and they're really about kind of undoing that Joe Biden era, honestly, of kind of mass incarceration and throwing people away, and so I think that's part of it. But I also say he's a new African, he's a Muslim, right? And so there's multiple components. Certainly George Jackson, somebody who's been an inspiration for him. Also Malcolm X, right? And so, like, my guess is that his politicization is a very kind of long process that started I would guess decades ago.
Right. No, and that's and I'm just I like to get I like folks to get context, right? Because oftentimes we get confused about this thing when it comes to the politics, right? And the politics of liberation in particular. So I appreciate that piece. What got you involved in this case, Rock? Because I understand that you've been, riding with Sundiata for a few ticks now. What sparked your interest? And if you don't mind, because I did a poor introduction of you. Can you give folks an idea of who you are? And I apologize to you for that. This is our first time meeting, so I couldn't just really. I could have made up a whole bunch of shit like, yeah, we was in third grade together, but that probably wasn't gonna go good. But
no, not poor at all.
Cool.
Thank you. And real quick, just kind of wanted to circle back to your question. What a great question. And Jared laid it out great. And I just wanted to add a piece to that. I think like all great things, it kind of develops and grows over time. And that's exactly what happened with Sundiata through his transition as a man, as a leader. And also, goes to show that he's also the imam of the Muslim community at the facility he's at, as well as the one he was at previously before. And I know that he's gone through spiritual transitions, political transitions, just, a wealth of knowledge just over time. And many of the years spent on solitary, when you literally have no one but the walls to talk to, changes you. And it just so happened that, he changed for the better, better person. He empowered himself, and it is so important for people to kind of understand who he is as a person and all that he's done just to strengthen himself and now giving to as many people as he possibly can. So I just wanted to add that piece. And then to your next question, what got me involved in it was I am a longtime supporter, family, and friend of Dr. Mutulu Shakur. Most people know him as a political prisoner. I know him too as the human that he is, which is so important in these cases to highlight, not just prisoners, not just activists, but humans, and on that side of things, being very involved in a lot of the creative work with Dr. Mutulu Shakur, kind of, transitioned me into other areas. And through work, I was introduced to Sundiata. And from there, just both of our desire to give back, to do more, that's kind of what brought us together.
Right. No, definitely appreciate it. On behalf of folks who are, currently kidnapped and held literally, it's like no matter how many times we talk about political prisoners, we talk about imperialism, it's always like even for myself being involved in this movement for like 37 years, it's still like it's like the Twilight Zone, over and over and over again, like Groundhog Day. This is happening again and again and again. I wanted to ask, okay, so the brother's 48 years old, right? And how many times has he been up for parole? You all know?
I think twice. But I know he was up in 2021, and I was a part of that effort as well. But that was interesting because in that effort, we went with all the, as many professional people, academics, like his lawyer at the time commented that he had more support letters and things like that than any prisoner they'd ever seen go before the South Carolina parole board. And that was even before, right, we were able to really articulate who this person is. And there's obviously still things that we can't, fully talk about, but there's so much, I hope that people will understand, knowing kind of the work of that organization, and his own work. He was on he was featured alongside Mumia Abu Jamal on a panel that the National Lawyers Guild had last year, a statement from him, right? And so he's somebody who's recognized in the legal community in some ways more than in the international legal human rights community, more than he is nationally among organizers and folks like that. So that's the dynamic we're hoping to shift and get more people just, connecting with him, knowing who he is, and supporting.
Right. Where is he currently housed? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
So he's in South Carolina, Department of Corrections. He's currently in Turbeville, which he's there because There's a program where he can work with folks that are on like basically drug and alcohol treatment and recovery. And it's basically, you know, he's done every sort of the programs that the Department of Corrections holds as like kind of the highest it's not honor, right, but it's like the most important, or shows the most, right, like maturity and selflessness and giving to others. Like he's done all of those, and this is sort of the last one that he has, so he's doing that now. So that's where he is. Yeah,
and I'll just add to that, you know, it's very interesting because like Jared said, the programs that he's completed are the highest that South Carolina offers for prisoners. And he's currently a peer support specialist. And when they transferred him to his current facility, he was going in kind of as a peer support counselor for other prisoners, and recently received news that they might want to work with him to actually teach courses in the prison for these guys. And, you know, he's just really maximized the opportunities that he's had. So,
no doubt. So we would definitely like to, you know, I want to definitely keep in touch. We have a couple projects we're doing right now for political prisoners and with political prisoners. There are a few different publications that myself and a couple other comrades that we're writing for. And, you know, I know that there are plenty of folks who are looking for content and information on what's going on directly from the quote unquote prisoners themselves. So I definitely want to keep you know, in touch with you all and hopefully assist with getting this brother out. Again, he's 48 years old. Reminds me, I can't help but think about folks like Rochelle McGee, who is now 84 years old and has been denied parole on numerous occasions, and literally has been, you know, only quote unquote free for 16 and a half years of those 84 years. He's been locked up a total of 68 years. We don't need to see another Rochelle McGee. We need and we don't need more Sundiata Jawanzas. We need to get him out. For folks who would like to get involved in the campaign, what's the best way? What can we do? Marching orders.
I would say the best way is to go, well, they can always contact via email, outthemud.jls@gmail.com. And to find out more about him, go to sundiatajawanza.com. And then as far as learning more about the Jailhouse Lawyers Speak aspect, jailhouselawyerspeak.com as well.
No doubt.
Yeah, and I'll just add quickly, I mean, there's a form, like folks can go on sundiatajawanza.com and actually just fill out a basically a kind of letter of support there. So that's one way. You know, it also talks about how you can send a letter in if you want to do a physical letter, which always helps. And then there's a way to get in contact with him on there as well, if you would like to, you know, make contact with him and, you know, get a chance to connect with him. And I'm sure he would appreciate that as well.
No doubt. Hey, listen, we're out of time, but we appreciate you all coming on. This is very important. It's one of the reasons we do what we do here at Black Power Media and the Remix Morning Show. You know, oftentimes, you know, we get involved in the party and the fun and the laughs and all of that type stuff. But we have to keep in mind that this is someone's life, and this matters more than anything. This is crucial. So, you know, again, we appreciate you all coming on and looking forward to building with you in the future. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You too.
No doubt. Peace. Remix Morning Show. What's happening, good people?
Hey.
Good morning.
Erica.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
What's up, good people?
Good.
Thanks, real quick. Thanks to Kalanji, Rock, and Jared for that. That's actually my favorite Jared, myself included. So we don't need you agreeing, Ricky. We don't need you agreeing. Ain't that many fly Ericas that I know either. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, but in fact, I just assigned another of Millennial Are Killing Capitalism podcast to my class this week. So definitely appreciate that work, and thanks for that discussion.
Yeah, no, and we can't front on it, because I think that it is, I mean, you know, we have brothers and sisters who are totally forgotten about. And while I love the fact that this is 420 and we're commemorating our anniversary, you know, that's beautiful. But we cannot forget our brothers and sisters behind the wall. And to me, that's first and foremost. Everything else, ha ha he he, that sounds good. But let's deal with the business. You know, so definitely appreciate them coming on and sharing with us.
Now let's get down to some other business. Can I hear about the fight that Erica Brown tried to make happen when y'all was hanging out?
You know what? That is, the rumors are not true. That is not what happened. I'm actually
That's
about to
some
be late
fake Southern humility right there.
No. I'm actually about to be late for work. So I just wanted
You
to
got a
say,
job?
What?
I thought
How
you
was
was
the boss late?
Yeah, but I thought also that you weren't doing all that kind of stuff. That you know that you were like living off your riches or something. I don't know.
I'm in school to get my PhD, but I'm also a graduate assistant. So I teach on Thursdays. So I gotta, yes.
Wow.
So yes, can you
So
believe they let
exposed.
me and the ear doctor loose on these students?
Oh.
Can you believe it's happening? But I just wanted to say I'm so excited for the anniversary. I'm so glad that y'all let me be a part of this, albeit behind the scenes, which is what I prefer. And it was so like interesting for me, and I appreciate how the internet works in real life. So for me to be able to like actually meet him and the community that we build online, for it to be like in the flesh, is really something that I appreciate. And even though when I go to Atlanta, y'all don't talk to me, you know, you and the ear doctor and Kalanji. And when I went to DC, Jared didn't reach out to me. He was busy. But see, Kim,
girl, you see how these ends do you, girl.
Yes.
Erica, tell an old story, Erica. Stop playing. Erica would hit us up and be like, I'm in your city till tomorrow. I'm like, what time you leaving?
Look,
4 o'clock in the morning.
See, I ain't never told nobody that.
What time is it now? 6 p.m.
No, it was a very special time. It was a pleasure to meet Erica in person. Erica is every bit more so as lovely and as personable and as funny, truly hilarious person. Erica, I really enjoyed spending time with you and you know, fellowship and whatever it is that we was doing, acting silly in the streets of New York. So it was so much fun to meet my my cousin by marriage, in real life. So thank you so much for that, Erica.
So wait, do y'all do like Kalanji and Jared? Do y'all size each other up when y'all saw each other? Like, can you take this one? Is this one kind of short? They got a low center of gravity.
I don't know how to fight. I don't have to size nobody up. I'ma lose. I don't care, tall, short. I don't care what the situation. I'ma lose.
I don't believe that.
No need to size up.
I mean, gentlemen, it just goes to show your war nature. That is men's default position. Y'all always looking to war. You know what I'm saying? Women, it's like, hello, girl. Wait, what's up? Hug. Nice to meet you. Nice to
that's not a
see you.
love. That's not. That's for war.
That's not a love.
But just to be clear, remember how I told the story. This boxer older brother taught me that. I asked out of a defensiveness. This isn't because I know how to fight. I size people up to survive out here.
You live in Colombia. What are you?
I think Coco sizes people up. I think Coco knows.
You stay thinking I'm like, you know, aggressive, and I mean I'm a little aggressive. I'm not gonna lie, you know, but I had to survive. That's my life.
Listen, I met Coco.
I'm you know, I'm cool, bro.
I met Coco at the Imam Jamil rally, and I'm speaking to everyone that I didn't know or whatever. I'm like, peace, how you doing? I'm Kalanji. I know who you are.
I love it. Yes. Get rowdy with them. Yeah.
That's the Bronx attitude.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave y'all.
Like,
it's
you're the best. I said, you're right. Go ahead.
Coco, I don't know that we've ever met. It's nice to meet you. Ricky, it's always good to see you. I appreciate the community. Can somebody in the chat please help me with these stories? Because I'm going to take off in the summertime. I'm taking off in the summer, and somebody need to come and help. And y'all always complain about the stories they talking about. So come and do it. Like, don't talk about it, be about it. That's what
I'm gonna be honest. Like I say like I'm gonna come on, but I don't, right? But then I'm like I should because the stories need help, so I should, right?
I be saying the same thing,
if I do some work.
And can I be clear that I do give decent stories? I can't help what they talk about. Okay,
you do. It's just that sometimes we don't get to any stories, or sometimes
there's better life
I
stories.
can't say we because I'm not actually doing it, so I can't. I gotta take myself out a little bit, you know. But I'm here to help because I love BPM.
Please let go of my ponytail. Please let go of my edges. The dragging that I'm receiving right now, being dragged across the screen. I'm a ponytail. Can y'all be nice? No, we appreciate it. Listen, this is an open forum. Y'all act like it's not, but it really is. Like anybody who wants to come on here and help is welcome. We will distribute that link at like redistribution out here. Like, come on. Anybody who wants to get on can get on. If y'all have stories, suggestions, send them in. We are open for everything.
I'm not talking about nothing except for what I want to talk about.
Well, that's Kamal.
He being honest.
If my socks got a hole that day, that might be, and it's like there was a bombing, my socks might take precedent. I'm just saying.
We on Renegade Culture together. He ain't talking about shit we supposed to talk about. We like, okay, we talking about Obama. Okay, yeah, Frank Lucas. Like, what the hell are you talking about? So that's just what it is around here.
Stream of consciousness. Yo, we getting some more looting. Thank y'all. Finally.
Okay. Yeah.
Finally.
Make it rain, y'all.
Hi, Erica.
Sprinkle me, man.
Hi, Sister Erica.
Hey, Zen.
We got somebody else who just gave us some money. Is she gonna come on camera? Wait a minute. Can y'all bring
here?
Zenji?
Hey.
Oh my God. We need a moment. Can the rest of y'all just shh?
Come out. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
No, it's been man.
I know. So out of all of y'all on screen, I've known Zenzele the longest. We organized together Malcolm X in the 90s.
In the 90s
we was doing.
90s. Malcolm X movement. Free the land, y'all.
Free the land, my sister.
By any means necessary.
Like, it's so good to see you. Oh my goodness. Like, man, I haven't seen fakes. He deserted New York, you know. So
got run out.
And I will say you went to do some good work. You did go to do some good work, but you still left us. And now, gentrification is like out of control because he's gone.
That's true. It all fell apart when I left New York. New York organizing fell apart.
Don't worry. It's gentrifying here now.
All right. Seriously. Like, you went to Jackson first, I think. Did you go to Jackson?
We came to Atlanta, then we went to Jackson for 2 years. I left there. Everything fell apart there. Then came to Atlanta, put things together. It's kind of like, this is what happens. It happens.
It happens. Okay. I'm very happy to see y'all. So happy to meet y'all. Kim Brown, I'm sorry I missed you when you were here, but okay.
Oh, I know. Oh my God. See, I have to come back now because I enjoyed my time in New York. And
I know Afra. I was like, you could have told me you was
Listen, where are you in Brooklyn? Like where I need a destination. If I have somewhere to go, I will go.
Okay. I like 2 weeks ago, I was in Brooklyn up until 2 weeks ago. I got priced out. Damn. It's a story. I'm in South Ozone Park, but landlord did some bullshit, sold about it. Nasty story. That could be a whole show itself. But anyway, So whatever. I'm in South Ozone Park, but I got a car. I can go anywhere. Okay.
A car.
So I love SOBs. I was like, they want SOBs. Like, man, really?
Yeah.
It started a fight. It tried to fight.
I'm telling you, okay. I would have been Afra's backup because I fight too. Like, no.
Listen, it was very reassuring to be walking the streets with somebody who was about that action. Let me say.
Sorry, you gotta let them know. Like, no, we're not doing that. Not in my presence. No. So I'm sorry. I have a minor bone to pick with Black Power Media. Okay. I'm wearing a Black Power Media hoodie, and you wouldn't be able to tell because there's nothing in front. The logo is in the back.
Ooh.
Here.
Oh.
My hood is down. You can't see it.
We got some design issues.
Walking around my hood up all the time.
Exactly. We already addressed that.
That means that we got your back. That's
Here,
what that means.
like put it right there. Okay.
But for all of us, Zenzi, thank you.
Thank you. And last, I'm gonna head off. My last thing, the person who always like gives me the good information, she actually linked me up with Malcolm X grassroots back in the 90s. I've known this sister since we ran in Howard in 86, 87. Tonda Sizwe Shimarenga, she's still my sister. She told me about Black Power Media. That's my sister forever.
Oh,
shout out to Tondi.
Shout out to
Tondi. She owes some money, so thank you. We'll collect from you.
The only thing wrong.
I ain't saying nothing about that, but no.
The only thing wrong with Tondi is that she has not accepted the many invitations to join us at BPM.
I told
That's
her
her only
1,000 times. I
That's
said,
her
why
only
don't
problem.
you get on the show? You need get on the show. Okay, first of all, it's 9:31, so it's 6:30 in LA. She ain't
I
about.
told her. I've even said she could do that. She could do the West Coast remix. I don't have. We have no problems.
Seriously, I want her to have her own show on BPM.
Yes.
You know, come on, you already know.
Yes.
Okay, I'm working on that still. I work on
Thank you. So thank you
we
again.
We always talking about something on the show. I'm like, sister, what? Come on. You know, so I'm still working on it. But I love all of y'all. I love every single one of y'all, all of y'all. Kamel, we gonna link up one of these days when you're back in New York, if you ever come back, you know.
Were you at in Ozone Park or whatever?
Ozone Park's not bad.
Ozone Park.
It's not that bad. It's nice. It's all
And
right.
see, I was talking a lot of shit because when I'm looking for a place and I was just like, I don't want to live in East New York. That's almost the Queens. Where am I now?
That's it. That's far. That's far. That's far. It's like two trains and a bus.
It's on the edge of Brooklyn. Stop.
It is on the edge of Brooklyn. I'm like, and that's the funny thing because I was like, nah, I don't want to be over there. I'm in Queens now, and I'm 5 minutes away from Gateway. I should have gone to Canarsie.
I had one girlfriend in Queens. I went to her house once.
Y'all,
Never went back again. I was just like, it's too far.
My mission is okay. I've been a Brooklyn girl for a very, very, very long time. But I was born and raised in South Jamaica, Queens. I commuted from South Jamaica, Queens to Brooklyn Tech every morning, got there on time. That was a bus and 2 trains. I don't know how I did it.
That's
and
crazy.
I got to school on time. And we had zero periods at like 8 a.m.
Never that.
I'm a Brooklyn girl to my heart. But yeah, gentrification done kicked me out. And I didn't think I was ever going to leave. Because everybody on my block, all the brownstones were owned by old Black people that passed their brownstones down to their family, and then here comes my landlord who had only been in the neighborhood for 20 years. He was trifling as hell. It was nasty, and just they decide to give it up to a Russian dude. It was nasty.
Oh my goodness, New Yorkers! What are we gonna start talking about? Chopped cheese and streets now?
Can I say something?
That's right, and that'll be the most important thing to talk about.
Chopped cheese is a new thing.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
True. Exactly. It's like you don't know nothing about New York.
That is not
a certain generation. It's a certain generation.
Coco and Zenzele on the screen. I feel like it's a New Yorker thing right now, and I think everybody else up here is kind of like like taking up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening.
I used to run Hillside, Darcy the whole nine. So stop playing. Thank you. What happened to New York?
Yeah, he took all the New Yorkers off.
I'm a little
Jersey,
I left up here like I wasn't part of that. They left me up here.
Damn shame.
No discrimination.
Zenzibel, we appreciate all the support that you give this channel, this platform, these people. You support my channel, my platform. I love you so much for your bubbly enthusiasm. You are a cheerleader. You root for us, and I appreciate that so much, Zenzibel. Thank you.
I'm always going to be, and I'm sorry, I think Kamal can attest to that. I'm always going to be about all of this work. It's like, even if I can't do any work anymore, I'm going to support the work in every way possible. So I absolutely support you guys. Listen, y'all have me. I work from home now. I ain't got to leave my house. Y'all have me up at 8 a.m. You know. So I will say that the first half hour, I'm like in my bed just watching it from my phone. But I got trust for y'all today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Good.
Right on.
Oh, I feel the love. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Al Unique.
That love is coming in the form of material love. What's up, Ear Doctor? Shout out to people down.
Hey, let's read it out for the people that can't see the screen. This is Al Unique, $20. This should be a reoccurring thing. All these, thank you, Ricky. All these women, including Jackie, just building. That would be dope. All right. Big up Al Unique. He said, y'all better mention me. And big up to Rhonda Smith, $9.99. Happy anniversary, BPM. Love the Remix Morning Show. We love you too. All right. And who else we got? No other than Makita. That's right, 1999. Big up Makita.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's Makita.
Yeah. Look at me following the Ear Doctor down the.
Talking about people who can't see the screen.
And big up to
can't read the words.
I can't see that good. Renee Johnston, $9.99. Love y'all.
Renee, another NY All-Star. What's up, Renee?
What's up, Renee?
She says I'm giving, even though I'm mad at Kim for forgetting to hit me when she came to NYC.
Okay.
She does a lot. She does that a lot, y'all. She does that a lot.
Y'all, shut up, Kamal. Y'all, I would have never thought I would have this many people wanting to hang out with me in New York like me. Y'all want to kick it with me? Yes, girl. Listen, Renee, I'm coming back. New York showed love. Everybody was so friendly. I thought I was in Alabama. I thought I was in the South. People were so nice. It was
That's
a
all
beautiful
them
thing.
gentrifiers. That's all them gentrifiers.
On behalf of Atlanta, since you got so much love in New York, on behalf of Atlanta, next time you're in Atlanta, call me after you leave.
Big up to Aaliyah Collins for $20. Happy anniversary of my favorite morning show.
Big thanks to Aaliyah, who, in addition to supporting this program, has helped produce the show we'll be doing at 11 o'clock. So thank you very much.
Aaliyah.
Talking about solar punk anarchism.
Our Manifesto, 1999. Big up our Manifesto. He been with us for a minute, man.
Hey, what's up, our Manifesto? Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Iman. I think it's Imani Festo. I think it's she, her. But yeah.
NZZ Lion Dad.
You should do that on Renegade Culture too. You just fuck the name up, B. It's like,
okay.
Hey,
that man's from Connecticut. He's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying?
Moved out to Tri-State 1999. I don't miss the Metro North to Stamford. Atlanta Metro area is home now. Yes, I'm transplanted from the North. Love the BPM on improving my education on radicalism. Thank you. Appreciate your support.
You're welcome. You're welcome, ZZ. I did that personally.
You did that?
Support.
Yeah. He was talking about me. He's talking about me.
Word, consistent support.
Wow. Do we have time for me to do my spite wall video thing?
Do it.
Yeah, we got all the time in the world.
Because all it is I went on my way to work yesterday. I went and just did a little recording to try to add to now. Because remember, the quick recap is that our president at Morgan State has been getting a lot of positive attention for tearing down a spite wall that was said to have been built by whites mad at Morgan being put in their neighborhood back in the 1940s. And I was, it was brought to my attention and I started looking into it a little bit. And it seems like that it's not the exact same wall, and that the wall that was taken down was really was at the back end of what is now a new behavioral science building that is now being opened up to expand the Northwood Shopping Center and the student housing and all this other kind of stuff. So I would share this. So this is, am I able to control it from here? This is just, all right. So right here is the corner of Cold Spring and Hillen Road. And then I'm making a U-turn. And then I'm just showing, this is what is said to be the actual
Gaza wall.
White wall. Gaza wall. And you can see it's this is the length of it. This is right across the street from Morgan's main campus and the Richardson Library. then as you can see here, we're back to community, and I think it eventually becomes student housing. But just to show you a little bit of the distance between where that wall is and the wall that was actually taken down, this is the corner where that wall that was taken down actually is, and you can see on the screen the behavioral science building in the background. This is the where that wall actually was taken down. This is the parking lot, and you can see on the screen there, those are the I think that's now, it's listed as student housing. I didn't realize they had converted that to student housing. But so the question the question was just, you know, what was what? And I'm you know, as I said, I'm of the contradiction and contradictory mind that the president is taking advantage of a little PR, and he's, you know, saying, I'm gonna go ahead and get some funding. I'm gonna get my name in the paper and get some Morgan State Research One, you know, and I'm oddly not mad at it. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I'm just like, in the context of everything else, I get it. I get it. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. So I just went and did a little, you know, that's
So
the kind of
so what you're saying is that
journalism we do here at the Remix Morning Show.
the actual spite wall lives. It still exists.
Yeah.
And the Washington Post in their coverage did not catch that.
No investigation whatsoever.
And the other part that I talked about in class last night that I found is from a media scholar perspective that was interesting is that Washington Post story is almost a singular reference and source for dozens and dozens and dozens of television and other reporting that's going on about this incident or this event. And there's the wall, but that wall that still exists is not something that can be bought currently by Morgan State, and that's why it's still there. Whereas the wall that was taken down is part, you know, and so there's I don't really know.
So he basically lied. So he made up a fake. He got any wall would do. He ripped down the wall.
It may not be a lie. It could be just bad information. He could just be, I don't know.
It's a college. They don't know what the spike wall is that was put up to stop them from going any place.
Not
he
only
knew
that,
exactly what he was doing. This is like Wallgate.
Right.
Exactly.
Jared said that the wall that was taken down they're not going to expand Northwood, but they've already pushed Northwood back for that new shopping center, right? So I don't think that the spite wall has anything to do with the spite wall. It doesn't sound like it. It did.
So in another, and that's right. The PR rep from Morgan in one of the other stories was quoted as saying something to that effect, that this was more connected to the expansion of that area that they've already really done with Northwoods. And this is, I think, really about, I don't know what they're really exactly trying to do over there, but it's not. And then she even says, so we thought we might as well go ahead and take the wall down too. And so it wasn't like, let's go get rid of this symbol of racism. It was, even if we were talking about the accurate wall, which I don't think we are, she was saying this is part of that whole renovation. Like we're renovating. And then of course, right on the other side, which is really to previous points made, is the expanded police substation. That's so every time I go into the parking lot, I got to go by, literally drive around and wait for them to move all of these police vehicles and cops hanging out, with their equipped selves, they're like, all vested up. It's like, man, I'm just trying to teach a class.
Is this Baltimore City Police or is this Morgan State Campus Police with the substation?
And Ricky, you probably know better than I'm not sure. I always thought there wasn't really a difference, but because I always understood Morgan cops were Baltimore City Police.
Yeah,
but
they work in tandem, especially in that area. So around the university, they work in tandem. So Morgan State Police has jurisdiction in the surrounding neighborhoods. Like they can be in Northwood complexes, even though those are not students, but students do live in Northwood. So they have that sort of jurisdiction to be in the shopping center and all of that. But they have a brand new building. It's really nice in there.
It's really nice. And then when we go into our building, in addition to all that safety that they provide, we have that additional private security group that works in our building.
What's going to ultimately happen too is that Morgan State's going to wind up building its own wall around the campus to wall off everybody else from getting in, like they did the AUC down here. It used to be open, there was no walls.
Yeah.
They have a 1033, so they wouldn't need to build a wall. But they have riot gear and shotguns, and
They just will just shoot you, get too close. Yeah.
yeah.
What's the name of the Morgan? What's the name of the student-run newspaper at Morgan? Because really, this sounds like an expose that has student journalism written all over it. Because
so there is a spokesman student, and it's the spokesman. And I even just asked, why is it still called the spokesman? And there was not an answer ready. But one of there's at least one student that I know of that works with them, and I raised this with them. And with all due respect to the student, and we ended up having a conversation about the history of the alternative press, even as it existed on university campuses, because the expectation that they would be able to do this story, I don't think it's fair.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Why do you think that? Because
it might lead to criticism of the president. And I don't think
that's the point. Absolutely, yes. They should. That is exactly why they should do it. Because I mean, you don't get to be.
Did they get in trouble for it or something? I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't go so far as to say they would get in trouble for it. I would go so far as to suggest that it will be strongly discouraged and would not likely happen. That's just my
wow.
The president's gonna make a call.
Look, I'm not close to them. I've never really worked with the spokesman, but I this is just the vibe I get. So I did encourage it. I said this would be a great story, but I also got the vibe and the response that I was getting from this student, and I said, this is why there are alternative presses, even ones alternative to university presses, because this is often a problem. And at Morgan, I think it's a specific problem, but I'm not close enough to have. I don't have enough detail anymore on that. But
There's a good chance for these kids to show up to Washington Post. I mean, my God, like this thing. I mean, it kind of seems like some low-hanging fruit if you had the time, as a student, as a journalism student, might, as I would think. I mean, all this should be easily findable on public records, the exact location of where this wall was built. So whatever the president is asserting, this could be easily disputed with a record search, even a search of perhaps the Baltimore Sun archives from the 40s or whenever this was, when this was a newsie. I mean, I'm just surprised that the Post. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Let me withhold my surprise right now, because maybe I'm not surprised about the Post just doing kind of whatever on the story. But anyway, yeah.
I mean,
I wanted to put this up because I think this. I think Coco.
Oh no, I got the whole indictment ready. I was
the same thing. I was sharing it as well. They come out, beat me to it. I was waiting to press the share button. Thanks.
So who wants to take the lead? Who wants to run through it? I don't know enough details.
I'm happy for us to do this, but just in addition, I also have the Justice Department's actual statement is in many ways a comedy itself. But
yes,
please,
I've read a little. You want to put that up real quick, and we could come back to this one, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have it. It's cool. Whatever you all want to do.
Yeah, I think you need to run down the story first. So run down the indictment. I just took it down.
So this is from the Justice Department's United States Department of Justice website. U.S. citizens and Russian intelligence officers charged with conspiring to use U.S. citizens as illegal agents of the Russian government. A federal grand jury in Tampa, Florida, returned a superseding indictment charging 4 U.S. citizens and 3 Russian nationals with working on behalf of the Russian government in conjunction with the Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, to conduct a multi-year foreign malign influence campaign in the United States. Among other conduct, the superseding indictment alleges that the Russian defendants recruited, funded, and directed U.S. political groups to act as unregistered illegal agents of the Russian government and sow discord and spread pro-Russian propaganda. The indicted intelligence officers in particular participated in covertly funding and directing candidates for local office within the United States. Now, when I first read, I'm like, damn, they got all of that. I read that. I was like, wow. But when you read this, I don't know how much of this we want to come back to. I'm happy to come back to as much as you want. But the 4 people here are Omali Yeshitela, Penny Joanne Hess, Jesse Neville, and Augustus C. Romaine Jr., a.k.a. Kamal's favorite activist, Ghazi Kodo. all U.S. citizens, all residing at the time in 2019, apparently in St. Petersburg, Florida. And essentially, all that they seem to have done is met with some guy that is apparently working in some conjunction with the FSB and the idea was, I wanted to find the exact line again. It's somewhere in this highlight. But they said that the way that they're saying that they were going to influence U.S. national elections was by, I'm sorry to be laughing, was by influencing an unspecified political race in St. Petersburg, Florida.
A single race.
A single race.
In St. Petersburg.
In St. Petersburg, Florida.
Unspecified.
As far as this is, they don't tell you who it is, what campaign
Sanitation
it was.
department, anything.
Dog catcher.
And
Moscow was interested in the election.
There,
right.
From there, they were going to take over the entire U.S. federal apparatus.
But you know, this is important because when we talk about political education, again, folks, you know, they don't look at the treachery of the state, and they don't realize that just a simple meeting with Joe Blow can land you on some BS like this. And what will happen is, since the people, the masses lack a proper politic, then they'll take this and they'll run with it. And next thing you know, you'll be some type of operative, and all you did was have lunch about who's going to be the dog catcher in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is wild. This is so wild. And
the mere fact that I'm like, and what, they can't have a conversation with somebody from Russia,
I was gonna say that.
and they can't speak on the same platform as somebody from Russia. Like, that's now something illegal reaches the level of espionage.
In 5 years, they're facing, if they could get maximum 5 years in prison. I meant to add that part too.
That's crazy.
No, it's just ridiculous.
The part of the indictment that had me, I think, when was the fact that they even mentioned that they were backing efforts such as a 2015 United Nations petition to decry the genocide of African people in the U.S., right? And so that right there, you know, is a part of the indictment. Just that alone, how many people are also a part of that type of, you know, have brought these charges to the U.S. and, you know, obviously genocide, but that is a part of this indictment, which, you know, you see the parallels. So I just feel like that was also
another parallel is the mention of the malign Russian thing. There's also a malign Russian act that was passed, pushed by Gregory Meeks, that they passed, which is a threat to sanction African nations for even having conversations or doing any diplomacy with Russia. So we're seeing that domestically play out with organizers. This is a real serious thing, I think, because this can hit any one of us who does serious internationalism, anti-imperialist work, because it's really about speaking to the adversary states. I think people are rightfully like annoyed about the TikTok thing and the idea that Congress can legislate around TikTok. But if you look at that bill, it really has to do with the VPNs and the ability for us to have conversations with other nations. And they're really trying to cut that off. And I think that that's really what we really have to look at, because what does that mean for us in this anti-imperialist organizing, especially as Africans? Like, they do not want these conversations to happen. And so to what extent? Because this is really, for me, like the beginning of what's to come. I don't think that this is a one-off at all.
What's the status of the defendants? I'm sorry, Kalanji. Is anybody currently locked up? What about the Russian agents? Were they stateside when these indictments came down?
I think Ghazi's still for other charges, though, correct? Is he still locked up, or?
He might have just got bond, if I'm not mistaken, but there's other charges that Ghazi is facing. But I don't, others can speak to this. I don't know if Ricky knows or Coco, the current status of those who are now indicted, whether or not they've been arrested, whether or not they're going to be bonded or whatever.
I don't know.
I feel like there was 2 Russians that are still in Russia, and I feel like there's one person who is actually here. From what a woman, I think she's here. So that's what I saw.
Yeah, the only thing I know is the woman is here still.
But the Americans who have been, or the folks from the organizations, to your knowledge,
no,
we don't
I
have
don't
enough
think
information.
it happened to O'Malley since the raid. So I don't think they've been arrested since the raid happened last summer. And I just saw O'Malley at the Marching Teeth at the march at the rally then. So I don't think they've been incarcerated as of yet, but they've been indicted, and those charges.
And we should be clear. I mean, no matter what we think about politics around Yeshiteli and or the politics of even a Ghazi dude, the fact that folks are being targeted who have left politics, Pan-African politics, like you guys are saying. I mean, Yeshiteli is a veteran in our movement. It's been around for decades, has been leading struggles for decades. And for them to target, again, what maybe they're thinking these are easy targets. Maybe they're thinking there's not going to be enough community support. I don't know. But for them to target these folks, this particular person in particular, but to target these folks who, again, some of them have real connections and are really deep within Pan-Africanist movements. And so no matter what, again, the differences in the layers of politics, I mean, you guys are right. This is potentially a slow walk towards hemming in more folks, more like what's going to be next. Cuba's going to be next. If people talk about Haiti and Haiti gets on the list, is Haiti next? And so basically,
or just domestic issues, period. I mean, just what you're talking about. I mean, Cop City. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have to, again, and I'm glad that you said what you said, Kamal, because that was along the lines I was going with. I don't care well, I do care, but personalities. We can't get caught up in, that's Grandmaster Jay or whatever his name is. He's, whatever, we don't agree with him. That's Ghazi, whatever, we don't agree with him. That doesn't matter. The fact is, the way the state looks at it, is these people still have some type of influence. They have influence with somebody. And I don't think that they would target Chairman O'Malley just because they think that the community doesn't have his back. I think they're making an example of what's what. So, like they say, if they come for me in the night, you know what I'm saying? We got to be clear. It's like this is when I say this it's a political moment. When we talk about political education, this is that moment in time. This is that juncture where we have to put all the BS aside. We have to say, look, our personality differences, the way we move politically, there's a war going on. We can be used as cannon fodder, or we can unite and we could deal with whatever contradictions we need to deal with. But right now, the primary contradiction is between the people and the state. And until we recognize that, and until we're clear about it, then we'll all be going to hell in the handbasket. Because if they keep picking us off 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 10 by 10, eventually it'll only be a few of us left. You understand what I'm saying? And we might as well just walk our way on into the ovens.
And to that other comment, I think you're both right, or everybody's right. It doesn't matter that Ghazi's not in the organization anymore. I think that's the point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
I don't care where he's at.
There's no. They're not. Yeah.
I don't. My position right now. I don't listen, man. I don't disagree with a lot of. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of people, and that shit is irrelevant. You understand what I'm saying? We have to deal with the contradiction between the people in the state because they're irreconcilable. When it comes to us, we can reconcile. We can get down. We can say, you know what, man, I don't really like how you say that, whatever, so on and so forth. Say it again. What'd you say?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it. I mean, look, however you get down, I don't like the way you talk about such and such, whatever, but I'd rather have you on this side of the barricades than to be over there. You know what I mean? So in one thing, and I think Kamal can attest to this, we're in an era right now that when you just talked about like the sister Zinzi, is that her name? That was just
Zenzile, yeah.
Zenzile. Look, there are people that I had issues with 20, 30 years ago. But when we see each other, we embrace these days because of the fact that what the quote unquote movement looks like now, the fact that you made it through all of that, I got to salute you on the strength of you still being here in this fight, because there's so many people that come and go, so we should fight for justice for these folks,
man. So my bad. I just see Ear Doctor dipped early and left me to close the show. So my apologies, everybody, for the inexpert segue there. But listen, let me just say this from my humble vantage point. unlike Kalanji, I agree with everybody. And I think we're all so correct that we are all similarly targeted. And I don't know either. But in all seriousness, I'm really, what I was really trying to get to is that I really appreciate that we're all here trying to do this work. I love that this BPM project is here. I love that this morning show exists. I love that we have a community to go back and forth with. And even for some of y'all to say some of the nasty shit you say about me in the comments, you know,
Damn.
I love it. Yeah, I've read a couple this morning, as a matter of fact. So, you know,
but never let the petty.
Those liberals don't hold back.
I love it. That's not how that is holding back. All I did was acknowledge people said some nasty shit to me, and I didn't say anything to them.
The minute of your outro.
but you know, we didn't get to the statement from the organization. Ricky, can you touch that before we jet off? Because
no question. Yeah, right on, right on.
You heard the state's narrative.
Yeah, the statement is pretty much what we all touched on, how the charges are erroneous, that it could really it's really an assault on internationalism and Black internationalism, and really it's about being able to tell Africans what they can and can't do. Like, we don't need Russians to tell us that there's an issue with the state. A 16-year-old boy was just shot in the head. We didn't need a Russian to tell us that that was an issue. So that's really the basis of the statement. But folks should check it out. It's on blacklionsforpeace.com. Read it, share it.
Yeah, no, right on. Absolutely. And appreciate you all for attempting that move last night to try to inject some seriousness into that event, you know.
Yeah, I don't know
you
if I'll
too.
go again. I don't know if I'll go again. That was intense. I probably need some more restraint, so I'm not like, what the fuck is this? Because that was me in the back.
We appreciate y'all dying for our sins.
BAP, the Jesuses of the Black Revolution. Anyway, thanks everybody. If you can come back in an hour, we're going to continue this conversation that we've been having throughout the platform with Solar Punk and someone I've just been introduced to. Very fascinating, interesting work and perspectives. So come on back, and thanks everybody. I really appreciate everybody on screen, off screen, even Ear Doctor who dipped out early. Everybody, you know, all love to everybody. Thanks to the remixers. And as always, like Fred Hampton used to say, peace if you're willing to fight for it. And we know that's what it is around here. So peace, everybody. Catch you next time here at BPM.
Peace, Africans.